Okay, this is an addendum to the Bumblebee buildings video series because I made a couple changes to the airplane to make it a little bit stronger. Okay, we've gotten out and bashed this thing around quite a bit, and we found out where some of the weak points are. So we added some stuff to make it a little bit stronger. So this is, in addition to the build video, there are definitely a couple of changes. The first change on the wing is we've added some spars top and bottom to the leading edges. These are 3/4 of an inch back, top and bottom, and it's important that they go into the center section about a 1/2 inch. Okay, make it a 1/2 inch for sure. Okay, because it keeps this leading edge we're finding it was splitting up front, keeps that from splitting. The other thing is, I would highly recommend not using CA to build this, but to use a goop, or I use Clear Grip, which I get from Walmart, which is like goop, same type of stuff to build it with. Obviously, to glue the wing saddles together at the bottom, you can use CA, that's fine, but this thing gets so much bashing around when you're flying it that I think the CA is tending to crack. In the kit, now this has got boss ailerons on, this is a special one I'm doing, but the kit will come, you still cut out and use the foam ones. But anyway, on the wing, you're going to have the main spar, and there'll be top and bottom spars here, and they got to go into the wing, into the center section, a 1/2 inch. Make sure you get a good glue bond on the center section to the wing. There'll be some gaps. When you get those on there, spread out the gaps, force the glue inside of it. You want a good bond right there. The other thing on the wing, after you're done painting it, but before laminating it, you want to add a strip of Scotch Extreme tape, which is like a strapping tape, really good stuff on the front, all the way down the leading edge. This gives it some a little bit of protection against hitting limbs and things like that, which can leave dents. This is 1.3 pound foam, which is not all that dense, but it is light. That's what makes it so good. And how I do it is I just use, it's about 2 inches wide, and I just take a piece, and put it on a piece of wax paper, cut it in half, and roll the tips. And again, that's after it's all put together, sorry, I'll do the laminate before I put the wing on, but after you've painted it, before you laminate, put the tape on. The other thing, big change, is the fuselage. Made the fuselage a little bit taller to add some more meat right in here, because this is where we were getting splits at and breaks. And we made some changes to the sparring on it. Instead of having the center spar and the two little shoulder spars on each side, we've taken this spar out and the shoulder spars out, and we've added two 7-inch spars, one top and one bottom. They're going to go across here on both sides. And then we're going to highly recommend, and this has already been done, glassing with the drywall tape that you get at Home Depot's or Lowe's. It's just your standard drywall. It's a fiberglass mesh tape that's sticky on one side, But anyway, and it's put on and it's glassed down with CA. That's in the regular build video series. On the bottom, of course, the bottom still has the 5-inch spars on the bottom, and it's got the tape over that, and done with CA. The other big change I've made is this thing had a propensity to come out nose heavy, so we're not cutting into the wing anymore to put the battery. What I've done is I've elongated the fuselage a little bit, and the fuselage comes all the way back to the wing. Before, it was made to where the motor was inset about 3/4 of an inch. That was to kind of help to keep it from getting tail heavy. Turns out the thing comes out a little bit nose heavy, and I was also for aesthetic reasons. So we've moved that so the motor's going to come out behind the wing, which could kind of help the balance a little bit, and to give additional clearance back there for the prop. The other thing, what I'm talking about on this motor here, because I've recommended this 1606, this motor has a lot of power. Getting a prop right, getting the right prop on it, has been a little bit of a challenge. Today I flew this with a 5040, I think it's a DAL prop, two-blade, and it's got a lot of power with a 5-inch prop. I was kind of worried about it overheating and burning up the motor, so I was only flying it around at 1/2 and 3/4 throttle, and my friend Mike Mulligan flew it as well. Kind of hesitant to go to full throttle because it was getting pretty warm when it came down. So we're going to test it a little bit more, and I think it's probably going to be okay. May try a 50-30 prop. I was flying it before on some 4-inch props, but the 4-inch prop, and these are 40-45 props. The problem with these is there's considerably more power with a 5-inch prop, and these on launch were spinning up so much that the airplane was torquing on takeoff before the prop would catch, and it would literally, those things, it would literally take off. When you were tossing it to launch it, it would literally skid sideways because of the torque of the motor. It would make it kind of hard to launch at times. You just had to be aware of it and be ready to get on top of it. The 5-inch prop seems to solve most of that problem as well. Other than that, most of the stuff to say is the same. Anything I can think of. I think that's about it. But this will be an addendum to the regular building series. So there'll be some important changes. Again, I'm recommending using a GoPro type, or not a GoPro, recording, a group type of glue to build this entire airplane with, even in putting the spars in. I think it'll be better in the long run for durability of the plane. And as always, try to keep it as light as possible. However, don't skimp on making it strong, because the areas where it splits at is where the wing glues to the center section, the panels do. So I've added those, make sure those spars go inside the center section right there, and make sure you got a good glue bond right there. Also, when you glue this fuselage on, make sure you get a good glue bond here all the way down. And look for any gaps when it's done. Any gaps you get, fill it in with glue. So that should make it pretty durable.